Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Nightly News on Wjay. This is episode number 9 for September 30th, 2024, Monday night. And we're glad that you have decided to join us here. It's another new week, and we have a lot to explain over the course of tonight and what's coming up in the next couple of days as well, because as we get closer to Election Day, there's going to be some hard-hitting news and some stuff that you pretty much need to get the kids in there to just stay away, and because we're going to pretty much be batting down the hatches, as they say. In the meantime, like I said, I am your host and moderator for this event of the day. Of course, I am Jason DeCanio, as you can tell right there. There I am. And we have, for our 3 articles, Will Cicadas Destroy Your Garden? We're going to talk a little bit about the fall season and how cicadas have come out like once every 10 years, and they are pretty much in full swing. So here's what you can do to make sure the cicadas don't overtake the garden. 10 things you need to know, and how to be happier according to your zodiac sign. That's right. If you are those who basically have their sign, their astrological sign, here's how you can be happy according to your sign. So we'll match it up and see how you can take the necessary approaches to be even more happier. And what is book banning and how does it affect society? Oh, something I don't think we should ever do is ban books, because books is what keeps us, informed on things. And it also helps us with vocabulary. And there's just a lot of upsides to books these days, folks. You can get your information on the computer or news reports or TV, but when it comes right down to it, books do help you in a way, no matter how many people decide, nah, books could never possibly help me to grow. You'd be surprised. Even if you just read 1 page a day, or 10 pages, or 20, whatever the case. News of the Weird is also here because it is Monday night. We also have the holiday of today, the motivation, plus headlines and other important information. And I had to change something here on my weight loss, which it's not that bad of a weight loss, but we will get to it in just a minute after headlines. So let me go ahead and save that real quick. And of course, Versus premieres every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. on StreamYard. Because I'm going to be doing because the vice presidential debate is going to be at 9 o'clock tomorrow, Versus will be on. I'll pre-record it, so it won't be officially live for you, but we'll pre-record it and then have it ready to play at 9 p.m. so you still get the best of both worlds. I could tell you that it's going to be Subway versus Jersey Mike's, or Jimmy John's versus Jersey Mike's. One of the two submarine sandwiches. And it's still episode number 4 or 5. So still tune in at the regular scheduled programming time tomorrow, despite the fact that the vice presidential debate will be at 9 o'clock. And, of course, Wipe Those Tears returns back for episode number 33. The Tear Masters and myself will be there, and we're ready to go after a kind of a wild week. And Saturdays with McVeigh and Wjay return every Saturday night. Scott was at a NASCAR race last week, so we didn't have that. You did see a program that we called Trolls. And that was pretty interesting, too. It got about over 45 views with one trolling comment, which was kind of a shock to me. But anyways, so that is the lineup of today. And let's see. We got comments here. Oh, Christ. So, okay. So this is your stupid comment to me tonight, huh? By the way, where were you, idiot, on Saturday night, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you busy picking your toenails and, sticking your face in mayonnaise or something? Why not? You should have been there for the party. It was a party dedicated to you idiots out there. Yeah. No, you suck. Goodbye, to be announced, idiot. Yep. You're blocked and banned as always. What else is ridiculous stupidity? So you wait. So So you wait till Monday to do your trolling? You idiot. Where were you Saturday? Huh? More about that in a little bit with the important information. Right now, we got to get the headlines. Stupid idiot today. Really? Come on, fool. You know, for once in your sorry life, you should have showed up when the show that was pretty much dedicated and titled to you was for you. Oh, I guess you just don't like a title dedicated. We took an hour and 15 minutes out of our busy lives to give you exposure. You didn't want to take it. Sure, I see. Anyways, folks, headlines for today, September 30th, 2024. America's Nobel goes to a power couple who made a startling discovery about HIV. Yeah, this year's Lasker Prize for Public Service goes to South Africa researchers Salim and Kwarisha Abdul Karim. The married couple made a startling discovery about HIV and did something about it. And 2 major student loan grace periods are set to expire this week. Here's what to know. 2 federal programs that help federal student loan borrowers ease back into payments are ending. It will have the biggest impact on borrowers with defaulted loans or borrowers who miss payments moving forward. Harris talks about marijuana and racial identity in All the Smoke interview. Vice President Harris made her comments during a wide-ranging conversation with former NBA stars Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes for their podcast, All the Smoke. Yeah, that's what she is, pretty much. Smoke and mirrors. Look, matter of fact, she hides her eyes just like the trolls do. Well, that'll be your next president there, trolls. If you decide to vote for her, you won't have any freedom whatsoever to come into anybody's podcast. You'll be banned at the stake. Tiny Town just got slammed by Helene. It could massively disrupt the tech industry. Spruce pine is a major global supplier of high-purity quartz. It's an essential ingredient for microchips and solar panels. And why the most climate-resistant glaciers are hiding in plain sight. In the American West, white glaciers and snow fields are outnumbered by long-overlooked rock glaciers. The rock covering these vast hunks of ice makes them far less affected by warming temperatures. Ryan Routh pleads not guilty to attempting to assassinate former President Donald Trump. Shackled and dressed in khaki prison garb at a hearing in West Palm Beach, Florida, Routh also requested a jury trial. He faces 4 other charges, such as possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Yeah, I got something to say to this retard here who's pleading not guilty. Come on. Israel conducts ground raids in southern Lebanon ahead of a larger possible invasion. Israeli commandos are currently conducting a raid inside southern Lebanon, and there are indications that Israel may send more forces into the area, a senior U.S. official told NPR. San Francisco ramps up policing of homeless camps with the Supreme Court's blessing. There are fewer tents on San Francisco sidewalks. The city has ramped up enforcement of anti-camping laws, and police are playing a bigger role. One thing about San Francisco, folks, it's dead. That's it. It died as Mr. Newsom, the governor of your interesting state, took it over pretty much and destroyed it. Trump turns to darker rhetoric as voting begins. In a pair of weekend events in key swing states, Trump claimed Harris is mentally disabled. I went on to suggest police violence could curb crime. Remember what I told you about these headlines, folks? This is coming from a left-sided radical liberal network, as NPR is. Okay, I told you when we were reading these that they'll do anything in their power to say whatever the hell they want to say against Donald Trump. Sure, right. Historic flooding strands hundreds in North Carolina, and Hezbollah leader mourned. Yes, Tropical Storm Helene has left western northern North Carolina with a catastrophic damage from historic flooding to a loss of power for thousands. Our prayers go out to all those affected by the hurricane, not just here in Florida, but wherever the hurricane hit and struck. We hope and pray that your life has been spared. Property, I know, is going to be at a loss, but you got to remember, life is more important than material things. As long as you got your health and your family and you survived, we are grateful that you had ridden it out. But at the same time, we, of course, are going to mourn the lost lives, now totaled at 107 have passed in the three or four states that have been affected by Hurricane Helene. Maryland seemed poised this year to legalize medical aid in dying. What happened? Most Americans support allowing some terminally ill patients to end their own lives, but a Maryland bill's narrow defeat shows the issue is still religiously fraught and politically delicate. Helene death toll surpasses 120 as millions remain without power. So now they found 13 more within just a matter of 7 or 8 hours, because it was at 107 this morning and the death toll keeps rising. Yep. At least 120 people across several states are reported dead. Officials warn that rebuilding from the widespread loss of homes and property would be lengthy and difficult. Yes, it's going to be a slow process, but one I know for sure it will take the time, but in the process, rebuilding a bigger and better area for people to live in. An NPR investigation, a murder in Hebron. Was the murder of a young Palestinian man in the West Bank an anti-gay hate crime? Well, NPR identifies the accused killer and explores the parallel systems of justice that have yet to resolve the case. Amazon India workers say they're overworked and mistreated during a brutal heat wave. Amazon India says it ensures breaks and worker safety, but workers tell NPR they're pressured not to stop for water or to use the toilet, especially while processing same-day orders. Yeah, and then they wonder why everybody's quitting Amazon. Vance and Walt's debate in New York City on Tuesday, and here's what you need to know. The CBS News vice presidential debate will be the only time Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will get to face off ahead of the 2024 election. Here's what to expect. We know what NPR is saying. They're backing up Walz. I swear to God, Walz looks like Don Rickles on crack. Don Rickles even looks better than the governor. God, man. Smile for once in your life there, Don Rickles. Jeez. 3 women from different backgrounds detail why they're voting for Harris. Is Georgia ready to cast its 16 electoral votes for a woman for president? We put that question to 3 women who have lived through a few election cycles in the state. Well, and with 2 of them being of African-American descent, it's any wonder, and all 3 women, if that's the only reason why they're voting for Harris, sad, very sad. You pretty much are just asking for a dictatorship, socialism, and communism, my 3 dear ladies. You ask for it, you will get what you justly deserve if you vote her in this coming November. The Power Broker at 50 about and what author Robert Caro is still uncovering. Talking to historian and author Robert Caro is like stepping into a time machine, as NPR discovered on a visit to his New York office recently. Stressed out? These 8 skills can help boost mood and reduce anxiety. Life is stressful, and I wonder if the trolls ever go through stress. Oh, wait a minute. They don't have any brains, so without a brain or the thought, I guess stress is just part of their natural stupidity. Whether it's work or relationship issues, or you're worrying about politics or global conflict, it can be overwhelming. NPR Stress Less, a quest to reclaim your calm, aims to help. And what Tim Walz's past debate performances reveal about how he may take on J.D. Vance. Those who've debated Walz before say he has a down-to-earth style that is relatable to voters, but it's an approach that can also cause problems for the Democratic vice presidential nominee. Yep, because, well, I'll talk about that in just a little bit. To combat misinformation, start with connection, not correction. People trust information more when it comes from sources or contexts they're familiar with. Help counter misinformation in your community by having conversations with your friends and family. Also, please draw from credible sites. We'll get all of our information from the Reader's Digest, which is very credible. But also, too, here's another credible source, NPR, which, of course, is left-sided, but has about the most accurate headlines you can possibly think of for that first 15 minutes. Bangladesh after the revolution. Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus envisions a new nation. And an airstrike in Beirut residential building as Israel expands attacks in Lebanon. Yeah, and there you have it, folks. The left-sided, what I like to call the left-sided liberal headlines for today, September 30th, 2024. All right. So with that information, now we come to the last 15. I get 15 minutes to pretty much sum up what we've gone through the last 5 days. As you probably know, I came on StreamYard to basically talk about uh, what had happened here in the state of Florida. Uh, the Panhandle and the Big Bend area of Florida got the 140-mile-an-hour Cat 4. And but the good news is that the hurricane did not linger around. Okay, it stayed, and then it moved fast. It came through, and within, I would say, 20 minutes or 30 minutes or even a half an hour, was gone and all the way into Georgia by the time, but it had done the damage that everybody was predicting, because mostly out there was a lot of water area, a lot of beach erosion. It was also high tide. Property damage was, if you could see, if you watch the news and the pictures, it pretty much gives you a frightening and gorish details of what had happened to that area. And everybody else here in the state, if you were more inland like myself and my mom, we pretty much got the outer bands. We got a lot of wind that didn't, it carried on until about 12:30 the next morning. We didn't lose any power. No, our house did not get washed away, fool. Okay. And, we are very grateful that we survived, but we're also very saddened for those who didn't survive, or those who are suffering without power, without food, without water, all the basic necessities. And we hope that you will get the aid you need as quickly as possible. I also want to say that Governor DeSantis did a fantastic job preparing us for this hurricane, and he was giving up to dates every hour on the hour or every couple of hours. And the trucks were out immediately to go and restore the power to where they had to go. So he was on top of the game from the beginning. And the governors of Georgia and North Carolina, they all did the same thing too after the storm passed. What gets me is that our very president of the United States, Joe Biden, he now comes on tonight, this morning, after the storm has already passed 4 days later, which is today, and issues a demand that all the governors of the affected states immediately give aid to everybody. First of all, Mr. President, let me tell you something. Where the hell were you when it happened? You were supposed to come out on Friday and assess the damage, you little shit. You didn't come out. But you have the audacity to come on at the White House and demand that the governors who were affected by this hurricane give out aid to everybody? How dare you state 4 days later that, oh, whoa, well, I demand that they give all the aid to you little shit in the White House. Goes back to bed and let the real people, the real heroes of this world and this country, do their job. We don't need you sticking your little beady eyes and your squints and your incompetent brain demanding all of this when you can't. Who gives you the right to say what you did say when you can't even run the country? And you, Vice President Harris, oh, when are you going to decide to visit the affected areas? If that's even your job, which it should be. At least Donald Trump, he came out Friday over the weekend and is still there now on Monday, today, doing the job, which you guys refuse to do. Oh, I guess it's only in our best interest if it's a political thing. Everything to the Democrats is a freaking political thing. Let me tell you something, folks. This is the party you want in. You want a party that only thinks, well, maybe it's a political stunt. We can get our votes. We could buy our votes out if we just visit and make it that way. Your candidate didn't even show up to the border for almost 3 years, and she has the audacity to show up over the weekend for 20 minutes for a photo op. That's who you want for your president? What a joke. What a freaking joke Vice President Harris is. And what a freaking, I hope J.D. Vance, you bury the old man right into the ground tomorrow night. You throw everything in the book and don't hold back anything. of course, we know that CBS News is going to cover this. All liberal networks have covered each of the debates, and I'm so sick and tired of it. Where's Fox News when we needed these? Well, I'll tell you, Fox News had town halls with Donald Trump and JD Vance. Why? Because the damn Democrats were chicken shits. That's what they were. Cowards. Oh, we can't handle Fox News with the fair and balanced. Baloney. You just don't want to be exposed like the idiotic trolls that I have to deal with on a regular basis every damn day. Yeah. You trolls are just like VP Harris. You're cowards. You don't want to sit down. You don't want to talk. You don't want to debate. You just want to throw out your bullshit. Okay? That's what you are. You and Kamala Harris are all narcissistic bastards and bitches. That's what you all are. And you ought to be ashamed. Well, wait a minute. Ashamed is too easy. You ought to be embarrassed, humiliated. Okay? With a guy like me who comes out and keeps telling you, hey, why don't you man up? Fess up for once in your sorry ass life. Okay? I'm doing what I got to do. I'm succeeding. You're failing. You know why you're failing? Because you choose to do the stupid things in life, which is come in with your rude and obnoxious comments. I'll expose you for it. I'll give you every freaking Saturday night right after Saturdays and with McDay and Jay, and we'll expose all you fucking trolls. That's it. Because at this point, you want the can of worms open. Yeah. TH, 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 TH. Yeah. TH. What a name for a fake channel. No thought was ever put into that fake channel at all, folks. It was a desperate move to just come in here at the beginning of the top of the hour, 15, 20 minutes ago. And now the channel has been banned. Probably had no videos. Probably was made, just a couple minutes ago. Typical troll channels that have nothing better to do and add it to their list, which is now over 5 to 6 to 7,000, maybe even 10,000 fake channels out there. I hope you're proud of yourself because you're all getting banned and blocked. And I may not be the only one banning and blocking you. Okay? Do yourself a favor. Get a life. Go home. Go cook your TV dinner and your Mountain Dew and, suck the jelly out of your damn donuts and your McBurgers and everything. Psh, my goodness. And like I said before, folks, we were very lucky and truly blessed. But our hearts, of course, go out to those who are suffering greatly right now. And even the trolls who hate my guts so much, why don't you say a prayer for those who were affected? Because maybe you got family out there in Georgia and North Carolina and South Carolina and Alabama and maybe the parts of Florida that were affected. Or are you the kind of person that because you're a low kind of life idiot that don't care about family and worries about me, and that I live with my mom and that I'm Wjay, you're a fucking idiot there. You're a fucking 2x4. Okay? You got no heart, which means you don't believe in family. No wonder why you're the black bitch of a bastard of the family there. The black sheep. Okay? So for all the reasons to sum it up on this, because I got 5 minutes left, and I'll go the whole 5 minutes if I need to before we take a break and go to the news of the weird. Folks, if it was you that was in that storm, and this is for the trolls, the ones who have no feelings, no heart, if it was your ass drowning, what would be going through your mind, God willing, if it was you were in that situation? And then your life was taken because you drowned or got electrocuted by a power line. Put that in your freaking brain for once and realize it can happen to anybody. Okay? So, put your stinky, smelly feet in the shoes of those who already have had it's happening. Because at that point, it could be your butt. It could be your ass. So you choose to basically not give a fuck. Well, so do I. Not in this case. I don't give a frig about trolls at all. I think you guys are idiots. I think you need some help. I swear to Christ that I don't care whether you hate my guts or not. For once in your life, why don't you think about the consequences for once? Oh, well, we're not touchable, DeCanio. Yeah, you are. Because I could bring your ass down here, sue you our fucking ugly butt, tell the judge that you continue to make fake channels. Any one of you is out there. Doesn't matter. Any one of you is out there. But it's easy to, it's easy to try to poke fun and poke a joke or poke an insult or something of that. It's a coward's way. And you want to be a coward the rest of your life and be all talk, no bark, and all no bark and no bite at all. And just want to sit there with your little fat fucky fingers and keep typing away. Then you go right ahead and do that. But you know what? Doesn't matter, because your words are just opinions of me. And assholes are opinions like you, because you have no facts to back it up. And I think you're suffering from Alzheimer's because all you know how to do is bring up the past. 28 before the half hour. When we come back, we're going to look at, of course, the news of the weird. And then we'll get to our first article of Will Cicadas Destroy Your Garden? And the 10 things you need to know in order to keep them out of your garden. You might also want to, if they're already dead, do something else too. We'll add an 11th one in there if we need to. Before I go, one more thing. I went ahead and gained a half a pound, but that's still 37.5 pounds down and 44 weeks into it. So 8 more weeks. The trolls think I'm going to get back to 320 pounds by November 27th. Folks, I have lost 37.5 pounds in 44 weeks, which says a lot. Okay. So, if I have to stay in the high 200s and the 290s, I will for a while. Okay. When I start getting over 300 again, I'll get back to that weight. But I'm probably putting on muscle too, because I'm bulking up real good. Because if ever I have to defend myself in a fist fight, in a physical fight against 2 idiots from Michigan and a jerk in Jersey, then yeah, maybe then. There'll be a 3-on-1, but I'll be ready to fight for what I believe in, and that's the honest truth. We'll be back with more of the nightly news right after these very important messages.
Tire Kingdom, tires, 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 tires. If tires are what you need, the lowest price is guaranteed. At Tire Kingdom, the best tires at the best price. No hassle service, and we always treat you nice. Ooh, Tire Kingdom, tires, 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 tires.
It's yum yum fun that is cool and clean, and its name is the Snoopy Snow Cone Machine. You put ice cubes in and get a snow cone out. This is fun. Yum yum fun is what it's all about.
Some assembly required, and you mix the punch flavor.
It's yummy Snoopy. It's yum yum fun that is cool and clean, and its name is the Snoopy Snow Cone Machine.
Snoopy Snow Cone Machine comes with everything you see here from Hasbro.
So refreshing, so cool, peppermint, winter green, so full of high savors,
Today you need an oil this good. You need Quaker State. When your engine's this new, you gotta protect your investment. You need an oil this good.
When your engine's this old, it needs extra care. You need an oil this good.
Small engines work so hard, they demand an oil this good.
These motor oils are refined exclusively from Pennsylvania grade crude. Quaker State is so good, it's America's best-selling motor oil. New cars,
Old cars.
Small cars.
today you need Quaker State. You need an oil this good.
Hey, Herbert Fisher. Have you met Herb Grant?
Herb Grant, Tacoma.
Herb's in the plumbing business.
Yeah, I'm all packed up.
Herb, you know these bums? Herb Riddick, Herb Kaplan.
Hi.
So, the wife and kids are good?
Herb Jr.'s almost 12.
Whoa, next thing you know, there'll be a Herbert Jr. Jr.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
What does it feel like to play, Simon? You gotta look! Listen! Remember! You gotta react! Repeat the sounds and colors. Think fast! What does it feel like to play, Simon?
Intense.
Simon from Milton Bradley, the challenge intensified to the max.
All right, welcome back to the Nightly News. Ready to go with news of the weird. Yes, indeed, from the editors at Andrews McMeel Syndication for the week of September 27th, 2024. It's last Friday, of course, so that means it's another new week with some fantastical, weird stories from our wonderful friends there. And, of course, the man who started it all, who has been retired and is enjoying his life, the wonderful Chuck Shepard. Chuck Shepard is a great man who was the first one back in 1996 to write all of these weird news stories that he came across over the course of his time. He's now retired, enjoying it, but he still probably has a very good following of people even after his retirement. But he turned over the weird news to these guys, and they're picking up where he left off. The lead story, creme de la weird. Literally, 35-year-old Sean Edward Uribe was arrested on September 12th in the wake of two incidents over the summer at Miami clothing stores, the Smoking Gun reported. And during the first encounter at a Ross Dress for Less in June, Uribe allegedly used a medical syringe to squirt a substance on the back of the shorts of a juvenile as he recorded with his phone, police said. Witnesses alerted store employees and the victim as Uribe fled the scene. Then in late August at a Marshall store, Uribe allegedly struck again, this time targeting an adult woman to spray an unknown substance on the victim's left buttocks area, police said. When Uribe was taken into custody, he confessed and said the liquid in the syringes was moisturizing lotion. Oh, God. And then he called his father, as police listened, and instructed him to go to his house and remove hard drives. Put them under lock and key, he said. Officers got there first and seized the drives along with loaded syringes. So far, he's been charged with battery on a child, 2 misdemeanor battery counts, and tampering with evidence. A Scandinavian Airlines flight from Oslo, Norway to Malaga, Spain was diverted to Copenhagen, Denmark on September 18th after a mouse crawled out of a passenger's in-flight meal. Oh! The BBC reported Jarl Borsted, who was sitting next to the passenger whose meal harbored the rodent, told the BBC that people on board remained calm, but he put his socks over his pant legs so the mouse couldn't crawl up his leg. Oystein Schmidt, SAS spokesperson, said such events happen extremely rarely. Passengers were transferred to another plane and went on their way. On September 24th, as the Kamloops, British Columbia City Council met in the council chambers, someone zooming in online queued up a pornographic video clip while sharing their screen, the CBC reported. The council's public participation segment of the meeting allows people to ask questions or comment on agenda items, but Councilman Bill Sari said Tuesday's incident was the final straw for him. It's really swayed far, far away from what it's meant to be, Sari said. He wants to eliminate the public portion of the meeting and ask the public to interact through email or in-person meetings. In November, Stack's Bowers Galleries in Boston will offer an extremely rare 3-pence coin from 1652 for auction, CBS News reported. The coin, which was minted in Boston at the Whole Mint, was purchased from a shop in the Netherlands. It is one of only 3 known coins like it, one of which was stolen and hasn't been since. Store manager Stanley Chu expects it to fetch well over $1 million. Student volunteers were helping out with an archaeological dig in Eu, France, when one of them found a small glass bottle inside an earthenware pot, United Press International reported. Inside the bottle was a message written in January of 1825 from one P.J. Ferret, a native of Dieppe or Dieppe, member of various intellectual societies. Ferret was carrying out excavations at the same site and left a message for future explorers. It was an absolutely magic moment, said Guillaume Blondel, head of the town's regional archaeology service. Local records revealed that Ferret was a well-known archaeologist of his time. Blondel said such finds are rare. Most archaeologists prefer to think that there won't be anyone coming after them because they've done all the work. Joshua Kaiser of Bringingsville, Pennsylvania, was looking for something to amuse himself during the COVID shutdown in 2020 when he came across an idea. I stumbled upon a picture of the eccentric man posing with a gigantic top hat on his head, Kaiser said, referring to Odilion Ozare, who set the record for world's tallest hat in 2018. Kaiser thought it would be easy to surpass Ozare's 15-foot, 9-inch hat, but it wasn't until this year that he managed to engineer one at 17 feet, 9.5 inches, that could withstand a walk of the required 32.8 feet while wearing it. United Press International reported that his final winning design incorporated lightweight guttering and a Philadelphia Eagles trash can that looked about the circumference of my noggin. Oh, man. A 27-foot tall puppet in the shape of a seated baby has been installed in the center of the town of Rochdale, England, the BBC reported on September 25th. The baby, named Lily, with a mouth and eyes that open and shut, is part of a council project to encourage school children to talk about the importance of the environment. Ostensibly, the kids will speak to Lily, and their conversations will be recorded and broadcast from the baby at an event on October 24th at Hollingsworth Lake Nature Park. But townsfolk aren't warming up to Lily, calling it the ugliest baby I've ever seen. One said, "It's creepy with its eyes shut, never mind open. No telling how school-age kids will react to it." A 58-year-old, Simcoe, Ontario, Canada woman, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Wendy Washik, was taken into custody on September 1st and charged with assault with a weapon, the CBC reported. The charges stem from an incident at a backyard party when Washik, who was playing with a child, accidentally shot a neighbor with a water gun while he mowed his lawn. Washik said she apologized repeatedly, but the victim wouldn't listen to me and was screaming at me. She said police didn't ask me a single question. They didn't ask to see the water gun. Washik was due in court on September 24th. 54-year-old Socorro Camacho. Yep. He died in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on September 23rd after getting into a dispute with another man over a song played on the jukebox, WSVN TV reported. The argument started in the wee hours at Antojitos Mexicanos restaurant when Camacho insulted the other man over his song choice, witnesses said. The insulted man pulled his weapon and started shooting. Mauro Bonilla said Fort Lauderdale police are investigating and trying to identify the gunman. That's what happens when you stick your nose in business when somebody's trying to pick a song and listen and you think it's the worst of the worst. Remember that, trolls, when you walk into a bar, God willing, and some music is playing and you say, "Turn that music off. I can't stand it." You might not have your life after that. A Florida man, of course, was rescued late on September 23rd after he apparently attempted to swim across the Detroit River from Windsor, Canada to Detroit, CBS News reported. The U.S. mailboat J.W. Westcott II was launched after hearing of the swimmer who was using a life ring to help support himself. There's a very strong current, and the water temperature is about 73 degrees right now, said Captain Neil Skolthace. Yeah. Even with a life ring, he was struggling. The boat picked up the swimmer after about 10 minutes of searching. Crew members said he seemed disoriented and under the influence. He just kind of kept pacing around the front deck, saying, "Is this boat U.S.? Are we going back to the U.S.?" Sholthius said he was transferred to an EMS unit. And finally, residents of Everett, Washington must be feeling so much better about themselves following the installation of the Affirmation Station. My Everett News reported on September 25th, artist Timothy C. Flood of Colorado installed the sculpture, which looks like a pedestrian crossing sign, but instead delivers audio and text with messages like, "Hey, you're doing a great job and you are strong." on the post is a sign inviting the viewers to press a button which activates the sign. Maybe the trolls ought to invest their hard-earned money into something like that because they need more positivity in their life. And there you have it, folks. News of the Weird for the week of September 27, 2024. Every Monday here on WJAY Nightly News. Next up, we're going to be looking at Will Cicadas Destroy Your Garden? 10 Things You Need to Know. And later in the program, how to be happier according to your zodiac sign. And we have some, oh, yes, okay. How you doing, Skullduggery? Welcome aboard. Thank you for tuning in. And you got it. It's Simcoe. It's a small town in Ontario. Thank you for the correction there. I appreciate it. I'm glad I was right. I want to make sure I get these names right. Sometimes, even with pronunciation, there's a difference in if you have an accent or not. It might sound a little bit different. Thank you, Skullduggery, for the correction, or not the correction, but for the right way of saying it, pronouncing it. We welcome you aboard, and we'll be back with more of the nightly news right after this.
Instant waxed shine as you dust. You've been hearing things like that for years. But is waxing all that instant when you only need to dust? Watch.
With spray wax, you have all this rubbing.
But there's no wax in N-Dust. It just coats your cloth with tiny beads that trap dust.
You just wipe, and it brings back the shine. Use wax when you have to, sure. But every time you dust, use N-Dust. It gets rid of dust in half the time of waxing.
Sausages. Dogs in search of the ideal snack. Sausages. What is that special treat? Sausages. We know they love to snitch a snack. We know they love to sneak a sausage, so... Sausages. That's it. Sausage-style snacks. Sausages. Made with meat, a hearty taste, a healthy chew, and voila, the ideal snack. Sausages. But what will we call them? Sausages. Doggy snacks? Sausages. Little saucies? Sausages. Sausages. New kennel ration, sausages? Scrumptious sausage-style snacks for dogs.
If you use an automatic toilet bowl cleaner that doesn't clean well enough or last long enough, it's like flushing your good money down the drain. Try my 2000 flushes. It has chlorine bleach, the same chemical used to keep swimming pools clean. It works the same way in your toilet bowl. And it works up to 4 months. It really does. With 2000 flushes, it's not your money that goes down the drain, it's the stains. So why buy anything else?
Keebler presents the appealing taste of baked potato skins in a crunchy chip.
Potato skins got baked potato appeal because they're made with potatoes and skins that are real.
The Keebler elves make potato skin snack chips with real potatoes and skins.
Cheddar cheese and bacon, sour cream and chives, tasty baked potato.
And they finally got barbecue flavor too.
They're made with potatoes and skins that are real. Potato skins from Keebler, baked potato appeal.
New family members mean new responsibilities and new needs for life and health insurance protection. Why not drop in on your MetLife representative to help you figure out what's right for you and your family? Get Met. It pays.
So what's it like up there? I mean, what do you eat?
Great burgers from Roy's.
Roy Rogers?
This is heaven. This quarter-pound cheeseburger combo with large fries and medium soft drink is just $2.99.
Great deal. But you don't actually cook anything?
You must be thinking of the other place.
Oh, I like this place!
And just so you know, that Sausages commercial came out in 1984. It was the first time ever it appeared on a commercial on TV. So, yeah, I remember when it first came out. I didn't even have a dog at the time. So, with that, we welcome you back to the Nightly News, and we're ready for our first article of the night. And it is Will Cicadas Destroy Your Garden? 10 things you need to know about the little creatures that, from what I found out, are not actually poisonous, and they don't bite. They are just looking for mate to lay their eggs and to expand their horizons and, become a swarm. Karuna Herbal is going to give us this article. Came out back in May 6th of this year. So whether you find cicadas captivating or cringeworthy, you'll probably have one nagging question. Will my yard look the same once they've come and gone? While it's easy to wince thinking about the mass emergence of insects like cicadas, their numbers can reach millions per acre, creating a near-deafening buzzing chorus. So it's understandable that questions like, will cicadas eat my plants, immediately spring to mind. But cicadas are also pretty fascinating and play important roles in the ecosystem. Cicadas inspire wonder in our world, says Jennifer Hopwoods, who's the senior pollinator conservation specialist at the Xerxes Society for Invertebrate Conservation. They spend most of their life underground next to the same plant roots. Somehow these creatures are able to track the years that pass by and time their emergence with other periodical cicadas in the region to overwhelm predators. They are amazing little critters. Here's a rundown of what to know about cicadas, good and bad, including whether or not they eat plants and how to protect your trees during an emergence. So, what is a cicada? Cicadas are insects with broad bodies and wingspans up to 3.5 inches. They are known for their prominent eyes set wide apart, transparent, veined wings, and the male's distinctive loud song, says Shartrina White. She's the vice president of education at the Butterfly Pavilion in Westminster, Colorado. Cicadas belong to a group of insects known as tree bugs in the order Hemipetra or Hemiptera. Boy, what names tonight. Others in that order include aphids. You've heard of those, plant hoppers and assassin bugs, all of which use piercing and sucking mouthparts to feed from plants. So when do they come out? Well, it depends on the species. The most famous ones are periodic cicadas that surface every 13 and 17 years, typically between April and June. But other cicadas appear every summer between July and September. Soil temperature can affect emergence, says Daniel A. Herms, PhD and Vice President of Research and Development at the Davy Tree Expert Company. Adult cicadas are triggered to emerge when the soil temperature at about 8 inches deep reaches approximately 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, what do they eat? Nymphs, which are the immature underground stage of cicadas. They feed on fluids from tree roots. Adult cicadas will eat plants, sometimes too, sucking sap from young trees, tender twigs, and deciduous shrubs. Are they a threat? Possibly. Cicadas create holes in small branches and twigs in which they lay their eggs. This can harm young deciduous trees, plus create cosmetic damage, which can be frustrating for both experts and beginning gardeners. It can kill the small twigs and leaves at the end of branches, causing flagging or breaking or foliage in the canopy, says Herms. Tuffets of dead foliage may appear alarming, but this light pruning of a relatively small number of twigs has minimal impact on healthy, mature plants. Luckily, cicadas typically leave mature trees and most herbaceous plants alone, including garden plants and fruit. They also do not lay eggs in shrubs, grasses, or wildflowers, nor do the nymphs feeding underground pose a threat to plant health. So before an emergence, cover small and newly planted trees with fine mesh netting or cheesecloth. Make sure to secure it around the trunk to keep cicadas from climbing up into the branches. Say no to insecticides, as they can make matters worse by getting rid of the cicadas' natural predators, says Mark Mayer, who's True Green's Director of Technical Operations. If you see cicadas setting up camp on your plants, spray water from a garden hose on them to deter the critters from eating your plants. Also, keep outdoor pools covered to prevent cicadas from damaging the pool filter and avoid planting new trees the year before a major emergence is expected. Once egg laying is complete, usually within a few weeks, prune away branches that appear significantly damaged to encourage new growth. Also, remember that the benefits cicadas provide outweigh the potential for harm. So what good do they do? Well, they are a lot. Cicadas are food for many species of animals, including birds, chipmunks, foxes, raccoons, squirrels, mice, and other insects, like the cicada killer wasp, a gorgeous large wasp that carries cicadas into the underground nest to provide for their young, says Hopwood. Cicada nymphs and adults also help aerate soil, improving water infiltration and root growth. Cicadas leave exit holes in the ground after emerging, which can provide the same benefits as aeration by creating an easier path for nutrients and water to enter the soil, says Mayer. Then, as they decompose, they add vital nutrients to the soil. Cicadas are also a great educational opportunity. My kids enjoy picking them up off of tree trunks and setting them on their fingers to watch, says Hopwood. Kids also enjoy looking out for the shells they leave behind on trees, the exoskeleton they shed when they transition from nymphs to the winged adults that we are most familiar with. How long do they live? Well, they spend most of their lives underground as nymphs, which means 2 to 5 years for annual species and up to 17 years for periodical ones. Once they emerge, adults live 2 to 6 weeks, during the time which they lay their eggs in trees. After 6 to 10 weeks, cicada nymphs emerge from the eggs and immediately fall to the ground, says White. Then they burrow underground and attach themselves to tree roots. Their emergence serves as a reminder of the natural cycle and resilience. Can they bite? No, cicadas cannot bite humans. Cicadas have piercing and sucking mouth parts. They don't have the ability to bite, says Herms. They're not harmful to humans. Cicadas do not bite or sting and are harmless to handle, says Hopwood. Their legs do have little Velcro-like projections that help them attach to trees, and these can tickle a bit. No, cicadas are part of the order of the Hemiptera. Is it the Hemiptera? Hemiptera. There we go. The Hemiptera. Okay, I got it right. See, while locusts are grasshoppers in the order Orthoptera. They differ in anatomy, behavior, and life cycle. Locusts refers to certain species of grasshoppers that form swarms, large groups that fly around to find vegetation to consume, says Hopwood. Locusts are generally more destructive to plants and are especially damaging to crops, whereas cicadas are not generally considered a major plant pest. So there you go. All right. Great article. Hope that helps you with the season this year. I know they came out after a long hibernation. We keep hearing them during the early evening part of the night. And you can, of course, where you are, depending on how many trees you have, or if you have a whole forest in your backyard, you might even hear them as well, too. Well, next up on the program, how to be happier according to your zodiac sign. We'll give you all the scoop with more of the nightly news right after this.
Today, a refresher course in sore throats. There's the one from smoking, the dry, tickly kind, the burning sore throat. Fortunately, there's great-tasting Luden's cough drops. Luden's help replace pain with pleasure. They quickly dissolve to coat irritated, inflamed tissue with soothing, cooling relief. So, for minor sore throat problems, get major relief from Luden's.
TV20 setting a blockbuster of a season. And to keep up the spirit, we're joining forces with NBC to bring you Blockbusters, the hit game show that's sweeping the nation. Test your skills and see if you can follow the clues to come up with the right answers. Blockbusters, weekday mornings at 9:30, only on Coffee Stereo TV 20.
Okay, you get home from school, you want brownies. What are you gonna do? You're watching cartoons. You want brownies. What are you gonna do? Here's what you do. New ready-to-microwave fudge brownies. From Pillsbury. Out of the fridge. Into the microwave. 5 minutes. Moist, chewy brownies anytime. Right, Timmy? Right, Bubby. And hey, all you gotta clean up is Timmy.
New refrigerated, ready-to-microwave fudge brownies. Here, in the dairy case.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sport Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Okay, the way we see it, Serta's the new way to fall asleep. Counting sheep, the old way. Look, the Serta Perfect Sleeper. Supreme comfort, gets me to sleep fast. Counting sheep, slow, boring. Solution, you gotta be new, now, happening.
Any suggestions?
Gonna put you to sleep, gonna put you to sleep. With the sheep, with the sleep, and there's no OP. Gonna put you to sleep with a sleep that's deep. Yo, yo. Gonna put you to sleep.
The Serta sheep will put you to sleep every time. Welcome back to the Nightly News, episode 9 here on this September 30th, 2024. It is Monday. The new week has started. And you're probably saying to yourself, 9 episodes, and yet you've been on since September 9th? Yes, we've had some pretty interesting things have happened this month of September, and we do apologize for only having 9 episodes the entire 3 weeks that we've been actually on. You got to remember Hurricane Helene, okay, and some other things that came up as well. So stuff happens, folks. But we do apologize for not being on Fridays. We're only here Monday through Thursday. And then, of course, you can check all the other great shows on our lineup of TV on our YouTube channel, which, in fact, we've got at 9 o'clock, 9:30, and 10. We have the game shows that you're going to finally be able to see after 10 weeks of us recording them in Discord. Episode 1 of Joker's Wild, Tic-Tac-Toe, and Blockbusters premiere in about an hour from now. Okay? So let's go to the next article, which is how to be happier according to your zodiac sign. Yeah. Jesse Quinn is the author of this article. This was July 12, 2024. So how can you become the happiest zodiac sign? Well, try these smart and surprisingly simple ways to boost your bliss. As different as we all are, every person on the planet wants one thing: to figure out how to be happier. But while there are some common strategies we can use in our pursuit of happiness, from figuring out our purpose and finding our people, what really works for us depends on our unique makeup, including our unique astrological makeup. Our sun, moon, and rising signs influence our favorite food. It also plays a role in which drinks we might prefer. And in the same way, they play a large part in determining what makes us tick and what can turn each of us into the happiest zodiac sign. So as you may have guessed, happiness comes more naturally to certain signs, just like some signs tend to be more polite or more trustworthy. According to astrologer Liz Simmons, Leo and Sagittarius are the happiest zodiac signs. Leo is a fixed fire sign who's ruled by the sun and associated with the 5th house, which is the feel-good part of the zodiac, she notes. Usually the sun is considered an exceptionally positive celestial body, so Leo's confidence and charisma would be evident thanks to its planetary ruler. As a fixed fire sign, Leo is also consistently upbeat, enthusiastic, and self-assured. Sagittarius is similar to Leo, though this mutable fire sign is ruled by Jupiter and associated with the 9th house of travel, belief systems, and exploration. This zodiac sign's optimism is usually unwavering, since its planetary ruler is incredibly exuberant, says Simmons, and it tends to always move forward in search of brighter horizons. And while you're there, test out the stars to guide your bucket list activities for the best zodiac summer ever. With an actually positive attitude on their sides, Leo and Sagittarius might be the happiest zodiac signs, but any sign can boost their bliss, especially if they know their strengths and weaknesses. The following advice will point you in the right direction and have you smiling more in no time. Knowing your zodiac compatibility with other signs will help too. So if you're an Aries, Aries are natural leaders, so they're happiest when they get to be in charge, show off their trailblazing spirits, and fully follow their impulses, says astrologer Nina Khan, author of Astrology for Life. With this in mind, people born under this sign enjoy having the opportunity to do something first. Independence and putting the self first are key to being content. Aries also finds joy in being the bigger person, which typically means walking away from smaller fights and unnecessary struggles. And while it might be a challenge for the celestial ram, this zodiac sign can only be truly happy when it overcomes feelings of frustration or anger, so it's a goal worth working toward. Your rising sun can also affect your overall happiness. If you're a Taurus, as an earth sign, Taurus is drawn to stability and security, so it should come as no surprise that for this sign to be happiest, it will entail just that, feeling stable and secure. Ruled by Venus, Taurus tends to have a knack for materials, luxury, and money, says Simmons. So Taurus may find that happiness comes from having enough to ensure a comfortable lifestyle. It's no secret that Taurus treasures its belongings and finds a deep sense of security and belonging with them. so much so that the celestial bull tends to find its happiness rooted in knickknacks and sentimental items. Antiquing and thrifting can feel very purposeful for the Taurus, and starting a meaningful collection that they can admire can make them feel happier at home. If you're a Gemini, you're ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication. Gemini is blessed with the gift of the gab, says astrologer, clairvoyant, and spiritual coach Tara Bennett. This sign is never at a loss for words and always has the best stories to entertain a crowd. And surprise, surprise, the air sign thrives on this gift. But in order to be happy, says Bennett, they should expand their conversations and dive deeper, opening up to their nearest and dearest. And additionally, Gemini loves to read, write, and share intellectual insights with others. But they often fall short on execution, which can take some happiness away from them. If Gemini wants to achieve happiness, then Gemini may need to focus on following through with what they have started, says Simmons. Keeping a planner and setting and tracking their goals can help them get closer to the finish line and feeling truly satisfied. If you're a Cancer, it's connected to the moon, home, and family, which means those with Cancer as their zodiac sign tend to feel happiest when they invest emotionally in their home life. Staying connected with family members or creating a cozy abode will help Cancer feel emotionally fulfilled. Decorating with their zodiac power color can boost happiness even further. In addition to their physical home, Bennett says it's also important for Cancers to reevaluate their friendships and surround themselves with people who will support them and break down their barriers. What might that look like? Well, they may want to schedule a regular FaceTime date with family or plan a monthly outing with their closest friends. This can make all the difference when it comes to becoming the happiest zodiac sign. If you're a Leo, well, as the happiest sign, Leo makes feeling happy one of its non-negotiables. And since it already has a solid happiness foundation, the celestial lion can home in on happiness even more. Since Leo is ruled by the sun, Leo would feel best when they are recognized for their charisma, talents, and cheerful disposition. And with that in mind, Leos are happiest when expressing themselves. Being the center of attention will improve Leo's mood, especially if Leo can focus on their passion projects and hobbies. While Leos love to bask in praise, the applause of others isn't the true reason they engage in these passion projects, and that's something they need to remember. If Leo wants true happiness, they will need to let go of their pride and learn that the praise they seek can be replaced with how amazing it feels simply to express themselves. Once that happens, the lion may feel incredibly self-assured. For you Virgos, well, you have a natural desire for perfectionism, and that can get really draining if you don't learn how to set boundaries. Let others take control sometimes and accept that the result will not meet your high standards. This might not sound ideal to a type A Virgo, but having a more relaxed approach to life can generally benefit their overall health and happiness. If setting boundaries on their perfectionism is too great a challenge for Virgos, they can take it one step at a time. Virgos can find the most happiness in simplicity, so spending some quality time recharging in the serenity of nature will quickly boost their sense of well-being. Other ideas might include trying a grounding meditation that allows them to let go a little bit more, or engaging in a new activity that takes time to improve, such as pottery. For me and those Libras out there, this Venus sign loves love. So Libra is usually happiest when they are with someone who equals them as a friend, lover, or more. These ever so natural dinner party hosts love surrounding themselves with wonderful connections, but this is where things can go awry, since their happiness cannot solely depend on other people. Of course, that's a recipe for disappointment. In order to truly thrive and achieve long-term happiness, Libras should work on forming a relationship with themselves, just as they do with their friends. Represented by a scale, the zodiac sign must strike a balance between internal and external friendships in order to become happier. And they can do so by setting time aside to do things alone, whether that's an at-home spa day, a solo lunch, or a trip to a museum. They may even want to find a new hobby. I try to find reading as a great way to release stress, and I also like to hit the gym as well, too. Two of my great favorite hobbies, and you can do it with friends or solo. Doesn't matter. Scorpios tend to struggle a bit with happiness, since Scorpio is co-ruled by two very intense planets, Mars and Pluto. And as a result, Scorpio tends to experience happiness in extreme and volatile waves. To be truly happy, Scorpio will need to get in touch with their means of power, transformation, and control, explained Simmons. However, in order for that to happen, they must also let go of power struggles, destructive tendencies, and entanglements. One of my trolls I know is a Scorpio, and he has a habit of not getting over the fact that when he does get defeated, he can't take defeat very well. Additionally, Bennett says it's equally important for Scorpio, whose needs for revenge can creep up from time to time, to let go of resentments and focus on living their own lives instead of trying to enact some payback, namely the trolls. And while this process of letting go can take time, it doesn't mean that Scorpio won't be happy in the process. To add a sense of joy to the day-to-day, Khan says Scorpio should consider exploring life's hidden truths, diving deeper into the celestial Scorpion's intellectual side for deeper satisfaction and happiness. Scorpios can do this by watching documentaries about world history, reading a book on a topic that intrigues them, or even starting a podcast about their favorite intellectual topics. All things that you should be doing if you really want to truly succeed and be on YouTube without going after guys like myself. Sagittarius may find that happiness comes naturally to them, says Simmons. That being said, Sagittarius is the happiest zodiac sign when they feel a sense of freedom that allows them to roam, travel, explore, and experience. But while we might associate these desires with getting out of the house, it's about so much more than that. They need to grow and experience new things, spiritually, intellectually, and beyond. This could look like reading inspirational books, pondering the purpose of life, taking a course that expands their mind, or, of course, traveling and visiting a faraway place. For you Capricorns, similar to Scorpio, Capricorn may struggle to find happiness due to being ruled by a stoic Saturn. And they tend to be incredibly hard on themselves, which can get in the way of feeling content. But happiness is possible, especially if Capricorn learns to balance the work hard, play hard mentality. As far as true happiness is concerned, Simmons says the zodiac sign needs to focus on what they have achieved thanks to their hard work. For Capricorns, perceived success plays a major role in their contentment and motivates them to continue on the right path. Creating a goal-setting vision board is a fantastic approach that will allow Capricorn to have a visual to look back on and marvel as the fruits of their labor ripen. And for you Aquariuses, much like Capricorn and Scorpio, Aquarius tends to struggle with finding happiness. According to Simmons, this is because Aquarius is co-ruled by Saturn and Uranus, which brings disruptive and tough love energy into Capricorn's orbit. Happiness may feel like a social construct to Aquarius, especially since the zodiac sign may struggle to sit with their emotions and work through their initial fear of judgment. But once Aquarius is ready to take a leap of faith, they might find that their happiness is associated with being rebellious and authentic. For Aquarius, happiness comes from confidence, especially in relation to their individuality, eccentricity, and quirks. And they might cultivate feelings of confidence by allowing themselves to be more expressive, whether that's in the way they dress or the music they listen to. And additionally, Aquarius can focus on being kindred to themselves and practice confidence exercises, such as writing down one thing they like about themselves every day in a gratitude journal and referring back to that as needed. By feeling confident, Aquarius can step into a true energy of happiness and feel more at peace with themselves and the world around them. Finally, for the Pisces, known for being one of the dreamiest signs of the zodiac, Pisces can typically attain happiness when they dive further into their daydreams, fantasies, and artistic desires. Since Pisces is co-ruled by expansive Jupiter and magical Neptune, happiness may come from living a whimsical life. Those with Pisces sun signs tend to make everything they touch feel dreamy, from the way they decorate their homes to their artfully crafted wardrobe. Still, Pisces will need to work to keep their natural escapist tendencies in check. As the dreamers of the zodiac, Pisces might get a little too caught up in what's going on in their minds, and therefore might not be able to manifest those dreams into reality. Life is but a dream, after all. But if Pisces is able to be more present in reality, this zodiac sign can derive happiness from playing around with its magical side through art, music, poetry, and other forms of creative expression. Great article there. So if you're in the mood to try to make your self a little more happier in life, take some advice and use those signs to your advantage if you fall into those. We all fall into one of the 12, and I hope you find the true happiness in your life. It is 8:11, and we're almost at the end of our show. We've got one more article, which is what is book banning and how does it affect society? We'll be back with our final article right after this.
Twizzlers make me very happy. I love the way they taste so chewy. Twizzlers make me very happy.
We love the way they taste so fruity, so chewy, so happy and oh so juicy.
Twizzlers make me very happy.
Twizzlers make your mouth so very happy.
Oh, so happy.
Well, I've heard of all fantastic things on this earth, but this, joke is wild. That's the Massachusetts State Lottery. This is the most unbelievable story that you probably ever heard in your life. Did you ever hear of a place where you could put down $1 and they'll give you $2,500? And instantly, that's the maximum prize. Instant, $2,500. And you're sitting in the house doing nothing, you could win the first time, a second time, a third time. You could win 3 times on the same dollar. I can't control myself. Look how I'm choking while I'm talking to you about it, because I can't believe it. My brother-in-law buys nothing. He bought this.
It's our job as official spokescandies of the new millennium to choose a host for the big New Year's bash in Times Square.
And we want you.
What my yellow-bellied friend here is trying to say is we want you, Dick.
That's what I said.
No, you said we want you. I said we want you. You were begging. I was making a dramatic point.
Was not.
Was 2.
Not.
2.
Not.
2.
No. Ow.
So.
I don't think so, guys.
What?
I was the host of the first millennium. Thanks anyway, Candies.
Whew, he does look young for his age.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico? I'd say happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump day!
Get happy.
Yeah!
Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
No matter who's dealing the cards.
Brand new deck of cards all shuffled and cut.
The Sharks are in it to win it.
We are on our way.
Higher! Everything that it is lower!
Lower than a 10, a 3. Higher than a 4, and it is higher than the 2. It's an 8. I'm absolutely speechless.
I gotta go all the way! Yahoo!
Welcome to Card Sharks. Card Sharks, Card Sharks.
Card Sharks, today at 4:30 on Buzzer.
Your soap is ugh, and your body wash is a synthetic detergent. But you're not a dish. You're a man. Switch to Dr. Squatch Natural Soap for Men. For men who build things. Open pickle jars on the first try. Slay dragons. And let their daughters braid their hair. Men who like to feel good and smell. Titillating. Dr. Squatch takes you places you never thought you'd go. Naked.
Well, I'm just happy to say that my Mets did make the playoffs by taking 1 out of 2 games tonight against the Atlanta Braves. They wrapped up their season at 89-73, which is about 16 games over 500. Congratulations to getting into the postseason. And I think they're going to be playing the Milwaukee Brewers tomorrow night at 5:20 for a best-of-3 series for the wild card. So we got through the struggles of the Mets there. Congratulations to you guys. On the other hand, if you're a Chicago White Sox fan, well, you actually broke the 1962 Mets record with only winning 41 games and losing 121. So if you're happy about breaking that record, great. If you're saddened by the fact that you lost 121 games, well, hey, maybe next year you'll do a little bit better than 41 games. It was rebuilding year and they knew it. So, but now they have something to say about their losing record, but at the same time, the Chicago White Sox are still a great team. They just, have one of those bad seasons and unfortunately have to go now and start rebuilding for next year. All right. Let's go ahead and look at our final article of the day, which is, what is book banning and how does it affect society? Yes, Elizabeth Yuko published this article just last Monday. We were going to look at it, but I don't recall if I was going to probably check it out at that moment last week. But as I said, all shows were canceled last week. So anything new that was coming out of last week's articles are probably going to be covered this week. Book banning. Well, the United States has a long history of book banning, and it's not only picking up steam, it's also becoming more problematic. Freedom of speech is a fundamental right in America, unless apparently you write a book that some people disagree with. In that case, you might find your book on a list of other titles that have been banned. But what is book banning exactly? It's a form of censorship, meaning it's the suppression of speech and information. Book banning began in what is now the United States in the 17th century and never went away, although there have been periods when politically motivated moral panics made these challenges against controversial books far more frequent. Unfortunately, we're living in one of those periods right now, an age when even some of the best books are being challenged. The crusade to suppress already marginalized voices has picked up steam in recent years, with increasing numbers of parents, activists, school boards, and other local policymakers seizing the opportunity to enact bans and other restrictions on books in schools and public libraries. Some of the most frequently banned books include critically acclaimed titles like Moz by Art Spiegelman, The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, and Stamped Racism, Anti-Racism, and You by Ibram X. Kendi and Jason Reynolds. Wow. But what does book banning actually entail? And who decides which books stay or go? And is book banning even legal? Here's what you need to know about this form of censorship of books in the U.S. and the cultural impact of banned books. So book banning is an act of removing materials from a school or library's collection as a result of objections from groups or individuals who say they need to protect others, typically children, from the difficult information or ideas contained in the books, according to the American Library Association. But there's more nuisance to that, says Emily Knox, an associate professor at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign School of Information Science, and the author of Book Banning in the 21st Century. Though book banning as we know it today primarily focuses on attempts to keep certain works of fiction out of the hands of impressionable children and young adults, the first recorded instances of this censorship practice in colonial America centered on objections to religious and political texts deemed too dangerous for the general public. Early examples include New English Canon by Thomas Morton, The Meritorious Price of Our Redemption by William Pynchon, and The Christian Commonwealth by John Eliot. This form of censorship continued through the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, perhaps most famously as a reaction to the publication of Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe's 1852 novel about the cruelties of slavery, and the first American work of fiction to become an international bestseller. Widely banned in the American South for being abolitionist propaganda at the time of its release, Stowe's book continues to be challenged in the United States today for other reasons, like its inclusion of racial slurs. Roughly 2 decades after the controversy surrounding Uncle Tom's Cabin, Congress passed the Comstock Act of 1873, which made it illegal for anyone to possess, sell, give away, exhibit, or send obscene books, pamphlets, pictures, drawings, or advertisements through the mail, along with anything else considered lewd, lascivious, immoral, or indecent. Between 1874 and 1915, an estimated 3,500 people were prosecuted under this law, although only 350 were convicted. While policies like the Comstock Act sound outdated, censorship of books in the United States never went away. And if the current surge in attempts to ban books is any indication, it is not going anywhere anytime soon. This most recent and ongoing wave of book banning began at the end of 2021 at a rate outpacing previous decades, according to a statement from the ALA Office for Intellectual Freedom. Between June 1st and November 29th, 2021, OIF tracked 155 unique censorship incidents, numbers that OIF Director Deborah Caldwell Stone called unprecedented. It's only gotten more prevalent from there. According to a report from PEN America, there were 3,362 instances of book banning in the 2022-2023 school year. That's a nearly 33% increase from 21 to 2022 school year. And these bans aren't spread equally across the United States, though. During the 2022 to 23 school year, more than 40% of all book bans occurred in Florida school districts, followed by 625 bans in Texas, 333 bans in Missouri, 281 bans in Utah, and 186 bans in Pennsylvania per PEN America. Despite the surge in bans, public opinion is divided. 2/3 of Americans oppose efforts to restrict books in public schools, according to an August 2024 report from the Knight Foundation. The report also found that sentiment is lopsided, with strong opponents of book restrictions outnumbering strong supporters nearly 3-1. As for publishers and authors, you'll find most of them in the anti-book banning camp. In fact, on August 29th of this year, 6 major publishers teamed up with the Authors Guild and big-name writers, including Angie Thomas, John Green, Laurie Halse Anderson, and Jodi Picoult, to file a lawsuit challenging a recent Florida law. They claim that the law, which has resulted in the removal of hundreds of books from libraries, violates First Amendment rights. Not only have instances of book banning increased, but censorship laws are also on the rise in the United States. You only have to look at news from the summer of 24 to understand the significance. On July 1st, a new law went into effect in Utah requiring school districts to inform the state's Board of Education of the books that have been banned from their school libraries that also fit the criteria in the new law. Books can be prohibited statewide when at least 3 of the Utah's 41 school districts claim they contain pornographic or indecent material, the Associated Press reports. After roughly a month, 13 books have been banned from all public schools in the state. In a twist with a dystopian edge, the Associated Press reports that the school libraries are required under the new law to throw the books in the trash. Selling or otherwise distributing them is against the law. And then in Tennessee, the new law went into effect on July 1st. And in Idaho, there was another new one about obscene materials, South Carolina. And the term book banning isn't the most accurate way to describe what happens when parents, community members, organizations, or school board members decide that certain groups shouldn't be permitted to access a book. What people do is bring a challenge against the book, Knox explains. Generally, this is done by filling out a request for a reconsideration form with their public institution, usually a public library or public school. And that starts the process of having the book reconsidered. Books are really only banned if they are removed. For this reason, instead of using book banning as an imprecise catch-all term, Knox prefers to speak about people engaging in censorship practices via what she refers to as the 4 R's: redaction, relocation, restriction, and removal. And who is banning the books? As far as who has the authority to ban books, it depends on the institution where a book is located. If you're thinking about a school, it is generally the school board who will give the final approval on whether or not it will be included in the school curriculum. The school library on a suggested reading list. Those are all very different. So most school districts have a committee that will give a recommendation to the board, and then the board will decide. Generally, public libraries work the same. And why do people ban books? Perhaps what is book banning isn't the most or only important question. What we really need to understand is why it happens. So why? Well, generally speaking, books are challenged and banned under the guise of protecting children from sexually explicit material. Yep. So this article is a little bit longer than expected, and we're running out of time. So I might touch on the subject again later on during the week. Yeah, this is a long article that I should have picked up in the first part of the show, but again, it happens. And you can read up on the expert on the issues on this particular thing of book banning. It's a very interesting subject, but one that unfortunately we're going to have to tackle on another program. All right, let's now go to the daily motivator of the day, because we are almost done for the day here. Yep. Daily motivator for today. Ralph Marston is, of course, our motivation of the day person, giving us positive influences. Today, it's choose enrichment. For Monday, September 30th, 2024. And let me see if I can put the whole thing in there. Yes, I can. Okay. How to get these things to size. That would be good. So life is good. Make it better. Some activities are truly enriching, while others are merely comfortable, habitual, or downright destructive. Take a note of which is which and choose enrichment as much as you can. The opportunities for enrichment are everywhere, in challenges as well as pleasures. in difficulties as well as joys. And every time life is enriched, more enriching possibilities emerge. Plus, when you act to enrich the lives of others, your own life becomes richer as well. The more enrichment you spread around, the more everyone has, including you. Is your current direction providing meaningful enrichment in your world? If so, keep on going strong. And if not, look for how you can change course. Whatever your past, whatever your situation, today is a day for enrichment. So go ahead and make it happen. And there you have it. Ralph Marston with another great daily motivator of the day. We'll have those, of course, to end our programs here and every night on the Nightly News. Episode 10 is tomorrow at 7 o'clock. The vice presidential debate is at 9. We will have our programs recorded for it because I'm going to go watch the debate. And then on Wednesday's episode, we will talk about the vice presidential debate, what went down. All this week and next week, we'll be looking at stuff from the Sean Hannity website. Now, you all know Sean Hannity from his program Hannity on Fox News. We're going to look at Kamala's record, Tim Walz's record, and show you why she is not qualified for the presidency. If you disagree with me, I'd like you to come on the program and debate me on it. Free and fair, as they say. But if you're a troll that just wants to be a total dickwad, you ain't going to come on then, because you had your opportunities on Trolls. You had that opportunity. And if you want to keep blowing it because you're too much of a coward, then I don't know what else to tell you. I'm giving you opportunities. Take them. Challenge you to it. Put you on the spot for a change for once in your sorry ass lives. I'm on here almost every day doing what I need to do to succeed. And I will continue to do that. Whether you hate me, like me, love me, or can't stand the living daylights. I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. Good night from all of us here at the Nightly News. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, be honest, be real, keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Good night.